Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dean of the USC Rossier School of Education, Karen Symms Gallagher.
Good morning. It is a pleasure to welcome all of you here today. Thank you for joining us for what is an historic announcement for the USC Rossier School of Education. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce some very special guests in our audience. Please join me in acknowledging our USC trustees, Dr. Barbara Rossier and her husband, Roger Rossier. Dr. Verna Dautrieve. And Harleen Norris. I'd also like to acknowledge members of the School of Ed's Board of Counselors, webcaster, Carol Fox. Where are you, Carol? Okay. Don Lacey. Brent Noyes. Jim Connolly. And Mark Slavkin, back here. To begin our program today, it is my honor to introduce the Provost of the University of Southern California, Max Nikias. Max has served as Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs since June 2005. In this capacity, he has been responsible for accelerating the remarkable academic momentum that USC has experienced in recent years. Max now holds the Malcolm R. Curry Chair in Technology and Humanities. This is the first endowed chair in USC history to honor both technology and humanities, and it exemplifies the provost's passion for disciplines that cross the spectrum from engineering to the arts. We are also pleased that he is a great friend to the USC Rossier School of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, Provost Max Nikias.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. So I'm delighted to be here, and on behalf of President Samble, I want to emphasize that this is an important event not only for the Rossier School of Education, but for the whole Trojan family. Endowed chairs are vital to the life of a university. They bring prestige to our faculty. A professor honored by an appointment to a chair is accorded special recognition within the university and within the wider academic community. For this reason, endowed chairs help us attract and retain the very best faculty, particularly in the face of very stiff competition from other academic institutions. Endowed chairs are also a source of pride for our donors. They know that their names will be linked in perpetuity to the occupants of the chair and to their achievements. At USC, we are always touched when a donor reaches out to us, showing tremendous confidence in our faculty and their work. It's a confidence that lasts forever. Today is a particularly special case as we celebrate the establishment of the Katzman Ernst Chair in Educational Entrepreneurship, Technology, and Innovation. It represents philanthropy at its very best. It shows what can happen when two people or organizations share a philanthropic vision and then join forces to make a difference. In the spring of last year, Norm Average of the Galaxy Institute for Education approached Dean Gallagher of our Rossier School. And Norm was already a trusted friend of USC, having served on the Rossier's Board of Counselors. He had an idea of an endowed chair that would focus on technology, innovation, and education. His idea was bold, and it would go far in boosting the school's efforts to strengthen urban education and create a new center. But he also issued a challenge. The Institute would contribute $1 million to its own funds, but the Rossier School would have to secure a donor for the remaining $1.5 million. That's where Mr. John Katzman came in. He and his wife, Alicia Ernst, understood the difference that this chair would make and decided to step up to the challenge. And in recognition of their tremendous generosity, the chair will bear their names in perpetuity. Thank you, John. And thank you, Nora. The future holders of this chair will be fortunate to have their names linked to an innovative and dynamic leader in the field of education. In 1981, John Katzman founded the Princeton Review, and today serves as its chairman of the board. The Princeton Review initially prepared high school students in New York City to take the SAT, but rapidly grew into a highly successful business that prepared learners for a wide range of standardized tests, from the GRE to the LSAT. It established a presence on the web early on and quickly became a model test preparation site. Over time, the Princeton Review name has become as famous as the tests for which it prepares the people. But don't confuse the two. Some of you might be surprised to learn that Mr. Katzman stands as an outspoken critic of standardized testing. He speaks often around the country, always delivering insightful talks on education and how our culture measures academic achievement. His ideas are pioneering, and he no doubt has a trusted sounding board in his wife, Alicia Ernst. Miss Ernst's own mother was an elementary school teacher, and her father was a public school superintendent. She and her husband clearly share a passion for education and understand the power it wields in our lives. We salute them. Their gift brings responsibility, and it's one that USC and the Rossier School of Education take very seriously. We all look forward to seeing it transform the Rossier School and better our society as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. John Katzman to the podium. We have a plaque for you over there. We're going to unveil. James, you want to bring it up here? So, John, in recognition of this important occasion, I would like to present you with this plaque as a keepsake of USC's sincere appreciation to you and your wife. Thank you. Oh, they want to take pictures. Provost, please, on this side. Where you are, Catherine? No, you need to stand next to you.
Thank you, Max, and thank you all for being here. I majored in architecture at some other school, and did some tutoring to pay the bills in SAT. And I almost left early to start Princeton Review because I thought there might be a market for such a thing. But I hung in there and graduated with a 2.4 and started the company right after. things have gone well, and I've had a rolling 3-year plan to sell the company now for 27 years. And meanwhile, though, I've started some other companies, some that we spun off and some that have become divisions of the Review, and helped out some other startups, both nonprofit and for-profit. So I kind of love startups and entrepreneurship, and when Karen first approached me about funding a chair in entrepreneurship at an ed school, I laughed out loud. I told her that's an oxymoron. And don't you realize that schools of ed are the problem and not the solution? Schools of ed are between a rock and a hard place. District folks think they're out of touch, business folks think they're too bureaucratic, and entrepreneurs think that they defend the status quo. But I listened. And Karen is very persuasive that Galaxy and USC are ready to change the game and become a huge force for innovation, scale, and asymmetric response, and the tools of entrepreneurship. Very few schools could pull this off. USC is a great research university. It's a school of education that's brimming with experts and thought leaders. It's forward-thinking and agile. And even though I'm from New York, I love LA. So here we are, finally filling in the empty box. This center is about using technology and an entrepreneurial approach to dramatically improve urban education. And a few words about that. First, why technology? Well, it can put unprecedented knowledge and tools in the hands of disadvantaged kids. It can supply us data about what's working and what isn't working in schools. And because it's very hard to achieve productivity savings without technology. If you think about education, it's cheaper to make a telephone or a shirt or almost anything else than it was 30 years ago. But a teacher in a room, if anything, is more expensive. And that's why the rate of inflation at schools and at colleges is so much higher than it is in other parts of the economy. So technology really can be a game changer in terms of bringing costs under control as well as higher quality to these classrooms. Why entrepreneurship? Because incremental improvement isn't enough. These schools really need help. We need to approach the problem differently. We need to try and fail often and transform the problem. And why urban education? Because it's so important and it's so broken. I've spent the last 8 years working with districts, LA, New York, Denver, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New Orleans, and everywhere you look are problems. So the classroom, the curricula, the funding, the governance. I can't imagine spending the rest of my life on anything more challenging. People say that universities change very slowly, and over the past 15 years, USC has disproven that. Something I've seen through Princeton Review's own data. You guys are doing a magnificent job as a university and as a school. And people say that schools of education are not capable of solving our country's educational challenges. I believe this center and this school will prove them wrong as well. I met my wife when she was head of research and development for Princeton Review, and both personally and professionally have spent my adult life trying to make education work. I can't think of anything better, any better way to extend that effort than this chair, this center, and this university. So thank you.
It's a great pleasure and a thrilling moment, and I should say a touching moment, for me to be part of the ceremony today as the representative of the Galaxy Institute for Education. In many ways, we are witnessing the reinvigoration of the Institute, which was created almost 20 years ago at GM Hughes Electronics Company, due to the leadership, vision, and I should say courage of several Hughes executives who are with us today. Unfortunately, Mal Curry is not with us, but Tony Iorillo and Steve Dorfman are. So would you please rise so we can give you a hand? Thank you. And with the powerful support of our initial advisory board, including Steve Sample and Gib Henschke, who were among a broad spectrum of this nation's educational leaders on our board. We realized that American education not only was in increasingly dire straits, as was well publicized 25 years ago in A Nation at Risk, but even more, something had to be done about it by American industry. At that time, the public was becoming more and more aware of the severe dropout rates in high schools, especially those marked by poverty. We also knew that the attitudes of kids about the value of their educational experience was virtually set at elementary grades. And speaking from the standpoint of an engineer, where would our future engineers and scientists be coming from? The creation of the Galaxy Institute and our operating arm, the groundbreaking elementary grade level Galaxy Classroom by Hughes, resulted from this understanding. Let me extract a few words from the Galaxy Institute's mission statements. The Galaxy Institute for Education furthers educational achievement on a broad scale by identifying and cultivating projects with unique educational and marketing potential, with special emphasis placed on meeting the intense educational problems existing in urban America. The mission statement goes on to talk about advanced electronic media, telecommunications, innovative programming, and advanced professional development. What better match could there be than between the original mission of the Galaxy Institute, which is even more crucial today, and the creation of the Katzman Ernst Chair in Educational Entrepreneurship, Technology, and Innovation. Speaking personally, the Galaxy Institute has been an incredible journey from my final years at Hughes and then after my retirement in 1994 in close association with the Rossier School of Education. I've learned a great deal and benefited from the best of all possible worlds, being able to work for the entire period with a couple of people who are both good friends and dedicated professional colleagues. And I'm speaking of Gib Henschke and Patty Monomer. Gib and Patty, I know you're back there, Patty. And Gib, would you rise, please? Thank you. I'm saluting them and innumerable others, some of whom are present today, and now Dean Gallagher and John Katzman, who are undertaking a bold new path for an American university, School of Education, in serving as a catalyst for transforming education in the 21st century. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Max, John, and Norm. It's an honor to be standing before you today to celebrate an unprecedented moment in the history of USC and in the history of the Rossier School of Education. It is also a moment that, if we seize it together, could change the face of K-12 education as we have come to define it. Throughout the past decade, the USC Rossier School of Education has been at the forefront of innovative thinking about 21st century urban education. Through our commitment to our four tenets of learning, diversity, leadership, and accountability, we have already proven ourselves to be a catalyst for transforming education, for looking beyond traditional boundaries and accepted practices and standards, and for dramatically changing and improving the way we educate tomorrow's leaders and teachers, and ultimately their students. At the USC Rossier School, we are proud to be pioneers in new important ways of thinking about urban education locally, nationally, and globally. Thinking that is clearly outside the box. And today, our school has reached a defining moment because of the vision of John Katzman. As you have seen in the videos that you were enjoying, I hope, before the program, they said it couldn't be done. Centuries of so-called experts in every field have been quick to judge that particular ideas are untenable, unachievable, even unthinkable. They are the ones who would have us believe that effective learning can only happen in a classroom with a predetermined structure, an understood set of tactics and tools, and safe, predictable outcomes. But John Katzman thinks, and we agree, that predictable is not acceptable. When it comes to education and the preparation of the next generation, we have no choice but to think outside the box. Our precarious social structure demands it. Our economy demands it. Our technology demands it and will drive it. So we are eager for you to join us in embracing a concept that is indeed achievable. Join us in thinking outside the box. It is within that spirit and within that commitment that we welcome the establishment of the USC Rossier School of Education Katzman Ernst Chair in Educational Entrepreneurship, Technology and Innovation. It's a long but important title. And that is indeed a bold title. Some might even say grandiose or overstated, but it is neither. Rather, it is the appropriate next step in the long-term strategic planning of the USC Rossier School. And we take great pride in the fact that one visionary individual, John Katzman, recognized in the Rossier School the correct partner to lead the effort to change forever what it means to be an urban school in the 21st century. The Katzman Ernst Chair will be the centerpiece of the Rossier School's vision of thinking outside the box for the students of tomorrow. It will work to bridge the disconnect between 19th and 20th century education, which has fed the industrial age, and 21st century realities, which must be completely different. The Katzman Ernst Chair will move us forward in utilizing the technology of today and tomorrow in a more aggressive and comprehensive way. It will also turn out the leaders who will be able to move the technologies even further and maximize their potential long term. You know, if Rip Van Winkle awakened today, I doubt he would see much difference between the schools and classrooms he went to sleep with and the ones he awoke to. But because of the Katzman Ernst Chair, education can begin to look radically different. We can envision it, and we will achieve it. We will be blurring and even eliminating the boundaries between school, home, and community. We will be rethinking how teachers and technologies are used. And ultimately, we will be changing forever the concept of going to school. That is outside-the-box thinking. A large part of the excitement and uniqueness of the Katzman Ernst Chair will be in how it marries the most innovative and creative forces among our USC partners for the greatest success. Imagine a teaching and a learning experience that has no physical parameters, no geographical boundaries, that engages all the creative, technological, and business and education arts to power itself. Our thought leaders in the schools of business, in engineering, cinematic arts, communications, and others will be invited to work with us to accomplish these broad goals. We surely know that they are capable of thinking outside the box. The Katzman Ernst Chair will also establish a network of out-of-box collaborators across the country and beyond, from public and charter school operators to leaders in universities and in the for-profit educational services companies. We are incredibly lucky to have a partner in John Katzman, and we are greatly indebted to the Galaxy Institute, whose initial gift provided the seed money that led us here today. Both of these generous benefactors have looked outside the box, and what they have seen is the USC Rossier School of Education as the perfect partner to move forward into the 20th century and beyond. Now, if I could have the three of you up here for a moment, and drum roll, please. we invite all of you to join us as we think outside the box. The possibilities are limitless. Thank you. Now, don't go far. I need my... Now, we have special gifts for Norm and John to commemorate the occasion, and they're coming. Yeah. Okay, we have T-shirts, and we hope they will wear them with Trojan pride. And now, I invite all of you to pick up your own out-of-the-box T-shirt from the students that are going to be moving through you, and please enjoy the reception. Again, thank you so much for coming today.